Hi, I'm Ewan Nicholson. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be covering why you don't need to fix yourself, why you are not broken, even though I'm sure at times you may really feel that way. I'd like to explore why this is you might say a faulty model or a faulty way to approach healing, what an alternative model is, and why that's necessary. Because I think for a lot of us, we come into this journey of healing childhood trauma and we really feel like we have these acute issues, be it anxiety, depression, addiction, dysregulation, whatever it may be. We have this awareness of like, I'm this way and I don't want to be this way. So it feels very much like, I'm broken. I have these like faulty parts and I need to fix myself. And I think it makes sense on one level. It's how we approach most problems. There's something wrong with my car. I take to the mechanic. He says, this is what it is. It's this thing. We're going to replace this thing. They replace this thing and the thing is fixed. I have a back problem. I go to the physiotherapist. He says it's pressure in your lumbar due to a slip disc. It's causing this, this, and this. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. It's going to take that pressure off. Problem fixed. And we can kind of superimpose that model to our anxiety, our depression, like I've got this problem and I want to fix it. But what we discover, many of us discover, is after years of attempting to do that and really feeling like here are the things that make me wrong or broken, and here's these methods that I'm going to employ, these books I'm going to read. And we get there and it kind of tinkers it a little bit, but then something will happen in our life. There'll be a crisis or something will occur and suddenly it's like it's back. There it is, all over again. And there's this feeling of, it turns out like it's still there and maybe I've got to try harder and maybe I've got to try a different method or a different model and go back into therapy, whatever it may be. So there's something about this like model of like, I'm broken, I need to fix myself, that for a lot of us just doesn't work because we're not machines. We're not in subject-object relationship to ourselves in that kind of way. And I'd like to share with you what an alternative model is and why that doesn't work. Now, one of the first reasons, and I think most fundamental reasons, is if you look at the feeling inside yourself, where there's a feeling of, let's take anxiety, and there's a sense of that's something wrong with me. I shouldn't be this anxious. I should be more relaxed. I shouldn't feel this way all the time. And I need to be this other way. I need to work out how to get there. Even as I'm expressing it in this way, you may feel it. There is an anxiety about this anxiety, but there's also a harshness. There's also a kind of subtle violence or subtle hostility towards this part of myself. There is a part of myself that I don't like, that I don't think I should have, that gets in the way of being who I think I should be, and therefore I have to kind of get rid of it. And it's aggressive and it's hostile and it has a view that's very negative. It's not loving, it's not kind. I'll employ loving kindness as a method to get rid of this thing. I've read about that. Yeah, I should be loving and kind. It's another thing that I'm going to do. But from a real feeling point of view, if we really step back and look at the energy or sense of what's moving this desire to fix myself, if we're really aware, we'll see that it's driven by a contempt, and underneath that contempt, it's driven by a fear, and a shame that I need to fix this thing that's wrong with me because there's something wrong with me. There's something broken, that I'm fundamentally flawed. So when shame is driving what's attempting to fix us, what we discover is even when we get to that thing and we don't have that thing, then suddenly we still feel like something's wrong with us. I've spoke about this before on this channel. For me, like my addiction problems were like the center of everything. All my life's problems revolved around my drinking and drug use. And if I could just stop that, I would feel better as a person. And I did. And I kind of did on one level. Of course, it's better functionally. I don't do those things anymore. And there were benefits to that for sure. But on a fundamental level, was I done? Had I arrived? No. Now I've got a new thing. Now I eat too much. Now I'm overweight or whatever it is. There's that need to fix oneself doesn't go away when you fix the things that you think it's going to do. It just keeps going and going and going. So what's required to some degree is this slowing down, this softening, and this awareness that whatever my issues are, in inverted commas, and look, some of us, we have issues, there's no doubt. There are things we want to deal with. But whatever they are, I need to come at these issues, or it would be best or most helpful to come at these issues with a level of softness and kindness. And if you've ever had little kids, being angry and irritated and frustrated with them generally just never helps. And it happens as parents, we do. But this, this awareness that, to approach them with a kind of a love and a kindness and a softness and a hearing and an openness is always better for whatever it is that's going on in them. And that turning towards ourselves with the same kind of kindness is required, because we can't shame ourselves out of our issues. And the second reason, or another element to why this I need to fix myself just doesn't work, is there is no arrival. We're not objects that can be perfected. We're more like ecosystems that are in constant relationship to the world. So we can't ever arrive at a point where we say, well, here it is. Here's this amount of anxiety, and I've eliminated it, and I've put this new part in, and now I'm done. It's like we're in constant exchange and co-creation and co-emergence, and we get rid of this issue of loneliness because now we're in a relationship, but now we have the issue of dealing with someone else's emotions, and then so it just keeps moving and flowing and growing. So I need to fix myself is within a kind of linear framework that assumes there's kind of like an arrival, there's like an end point where I'll get to where I'm done, like a degree or a qualification, or this like arbitrary point where it's like it's done. And it just doesn't work that way. And so we're evolving, we're growing, but it's an ongoing, unfolding process that we're really looking at, although it's kind of cliche, we're looking at really enjoying the journey rather than being fixated on the destination. And when we're into this model of fixing ourselves, it's very destination orientated. And we have to discover that, we never arrive at this arbitrary point. It's like an ecosystem never just gets to where it needs to be and stops. It just keeps moving and evolving and growing and, coming out of balance, coming back into balance, and who defines what balance is, and what may look like imbalance ends up being balanced. And all these kind of things that we're kind of looking at learning and growing from. But on a fundamental level, if you let go of that feeling, I don't need to fix myself, I'm not broken, there's a freedom with that, and a releasing of pressure. There also can be an anxiety that arises that says, well, what am I to do now if I don't have to fix myself, and I've invested so much money and resources and time in this project of bettering me? What am I to do? Well, yeah, that's an interesting one to explore. Maybe another video. How do we relax into just being? But nonetheless, it's where it starts. That learning to re-feel our capacity just to be present, to be here. We're doing our best. We keep moving, we keep growing. But whatever's there in us that needs to improve or change, then it's not something we're fixing. It's just something we're becoming more and more aware of and meeting with more and more understanding. And these things happen and change in their own natural way. So look, I hope this has helped. I hope this has made sense. Please take care of yourself. Bye-bye.